And good morning to you. It's 7 minutes after the hour. We're right at 8 minutes after the hour on this Good Friday. For those of you all that are practicing the Christian faith, we are very familiar with what this day means and its significance in the Christian church. And as we approach Resurrection Sunday, that is a big day in the Christian faith, and certainly we're looking forward to that this weekend and hope that everyone is doing well. And so, great show today. We have Jay, who's been a world globetrotter, been trotting around the world there, and he's back with DL and I. And I'll say, good morning, gentlemen. How you guys doing?
Good morning. Doing well. Doing well. Missed you guys.
Miss you as well, man.
Yeah, good,
DL, same thing, you, sir.
good morning, and I'm glad this pollen ain't as thick as it's been previously over the last 2 or 3 years. It's not bad this year.
Now it was bad for me. the first part.
Bad for me too.
It was. I'm telling you, it was killing me, man. I mean, I was. That pollen can make you feel like you have the flu. I mean, I was like, one day it shut me down altogether, and so that was a struggle. But now I'm okay now, and it's less of it. I've been rinsing it off my porch, and so I saw less of it coming down. I'm surrounded by those pine trees, the ones that are very high. I mean, they're way up there, but still, I'm thankful. Everything has its own purpose. And God created the pollen to go and, do what it does, and the bees and all them other things. So, look, it is what it is, man. You know what I mean?
Is the pollen season over actually, or
No.
is it just no? We still got some time.
No, it's not over with yet. No, it's not over with yet. No, it's still. I'm not your expert on that, but it's not over. You can on the basic newscast, they give you an assessment of it daily, anyway, and tells you the kind of things that you might encounter. So I find that kind of interesting. But anyway, no, sir, it is not over. And some people are masked up like they're fighting COVID. But my thing is that, man, it's the times we're living in, sir. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. So you've been all over the world there. So you've been in London, England?
I was in. I had an event. It was just sort of.
Say again.
Into the Berlin Wall, and so.
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit there. Let me see.
Oh, hold on a second.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
I can.
Yeah. So, went to Berlin, Germany. Then we went to Krakow, Poland, which was a beautiful city in Poland. We went to Auschwitz and Birkenau, the concentration camps, and did a lot more traveling there. And then back to London and went to Bath, London, Bath, England, not Bath, London, and just beautiful time. Let me tell you, almost 2 weeks with no rain whatsoever, and family had a great time, and it was good to come back home.
Excellent. So did you visit Big Ben?
Oh, yeah, I've seen that numerous times. We went down, we saw all the little tourist stuff, but I also have a friend that lives outside of London in a place called Pinner, and we spent a little time there. It's sort of nice to get away from the touristy stuff and actually see the countryside and the people, and it was very nice. And I think the real key was my daughter made an itinerary for us, so every single place we went, we had restaurants to go to. It worked out perfectly, and the weather was great, and everyone was happy when we got home.
Sure. Well, did you go to see any place where the Beatles were among, mate? The Beatles, or did you go to any?
The Beatles. No, we didn't go to Liverpool.
Yeah, right.
We did not go to Liverpool.
Oh man, look, I got to go there.
I want to say I love the Beatles, and
I do too.
love the Yes, I do. So we didn't go there, but next time, there's always a next time, and I love Europe. So, and they love Americans. Wherever I went, they seem to love us.
Well, great,
Love
fantastic.
me. Yeah, yeah. So it was good. It was a good trip. Missed
So now-
you guys though.
Are you old enough to remember when the Beatles crashed the Ed Sullivan Show? I think it was 1965.
Of course,
Okay.
1964.
64, right?
Yeah,
So,
1964. They were on the Ed Sullivan Show. Yeah, that was big time.
oh
The,
yeah, I remember that day,
British
man.
invasion-
I mean, everybody was talking about that. I mean, that was even in a segregated society. People were talking about that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Did you like the Beatles, DL, or not really?
Hey, they're part of history. You know, don't listen to their music, but I know they're popular in culture.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, they kind of passed
Didn't
him
seem
by.
very excited about the Beatles.
Yeah, by the time he was born, they were, they were going somewhere else then. But anyway, look, gentlemen, thank you so much for being with us back on this, like I said, on this Good Friday, a very important day for the Christian community. And certainly the youngsters are out of school this morning here, going on their spring break. And I know that's certainly rewarding to them. Matter of fact, we don't have our student intern in this morning. I guess he's on his break too. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about some things that are happening. One important thing, matter of fact, I was just on the phone with former county commissioner from Hope County, Miss Ellen McNeil. She was not involved in 1994 in the manner in which that she would have been directly involved in the stuff that was going on with the Leandro case. But I asked you guys to do a little research on that so we could talk about that a little bit more informed. That began at that time. Let me see. Who was the governor in 94? Was that Hunt was still the governor in 94?
I'm not sure, but I think so.
Yeah,
I just had moved here. I think he was.
it was Hunt. It was Jim Hunt.
Right, that's what I
Yeah.
thought. So, we're going back to all the way to that time when this began. And, of course, it was a Democratic-dominated General Assembly at that time, total domination
Absolutely.
at that time. So, but we were never able to really kind of figure that out and get that worked out. However, we could talk about the legalities of all that. But I hear from you guys regarding that. Anyway, anybody wants to lead off, you can lead off.
Well, I just wanted to say I saw, I think the bottom line was what I understand. It says I think the case established a constitutional right to adequate education. But the ruling, as I understand it, weakens the court's power to have the state pay for it. I think that was the bottom line. I just wanted to read something from Governor Stein that just came out. It said, Governor Josh Stein was quick to respond to Thursday's ruling, saying it does not change the state's fundamental responsibility to its students. Quote, education opens doors of opportunity for children, but today the court slammed them in the face of students who deserve the right to a sound basic public education. He went on to say the Supreme Court simply ignored its own established precedent, enabling the General Assembly to continue to deprive another generation of North Carolina students of the education promised by our Constitution. So, not a good ruling, and it took so many years for it to finally. So this is it with the Leandro case. Is that correct?
I would think so. I don't unless they were to appeal to some legal standard. But look. So here's my challenge, guys. Okay, Governor Stein, calm down. Look, number one, like I said, the reason I went all the way back to 1994, they could have fixed it then. I mean, if they're going to go off like that, how come they didn't fix it in 94 when Governor Hunt, the quote-unquote education governor, am I correct in saying that?
No, he was the education governor.
Right, so I'm saying, and of course at that time we had Tony Rand here, and what's my man from Manio? I forget his name now. He was Senate Pro Tem. But you had total domination by the other party for 16 years prior to 2010. They could have fixed it. And now you're going to act like, oh, gee, they're doing these kids so wrong. This is what the court ruled. And the court ruled that they didn't have the responsibility or the authority to legislate when it comes to money. And I tend to agree with them. I mean, the constitutional part of that, what they're saying is that it is a legislative responsibility, not the court. And if you break down the three branches of government, the judiciary interprets the law. The executive branch carries out the law, enforces it. And the legislative branch, they make the laws.
Right.
So, I mean, and I think what has happened now, in which, I mean, it troubles me in a whole lot of areas. Some people in the judiciary think that it's their right to enforce laws when that is not the way things are supposed to be set up.
That's correct.
DL?
Well, in '94, it was Mark Best Nights. So
That's
the
him.
Leandro case stemmed from parents in Hope County saying, because Hope County at the time was a very poor county, that their kids were not receiving a proper education versus some kids in, we say, Wake County. Well, all things are not equal because the demographics and the jobs and the money that was afforded to the school board of Wake County is going to be different from Hope County. Now Hope County is flourishing, but the unique thing about the Leandro case is that other counties try to piggyback on it because Northampton County in the east is a poor county. You got a lot of counties poor. Northampton County is northeast as you're going to Virginia off of 95. Then you had other counties. And you're right, Troy, when it came down to implementing, it could have been easily implemented under the Democrats. So as we move along to the 2010s, I don't blame the Republican-controlled legislation when you have the judiciary trying to tell them how to dole out money and set the budget for North Carolina. But, Hope County right now, it's booming, just like Harnett County because of the low property tax. But I know a number of people who stay in Hope County and send their kids to private school in Cumberland County, but that's not the folks who, a lot of folks don't have that type of income. But I'll tell you this, when it comes to education, throwing money at education, you don't always get the results you think you're going to get. I don't know if I don't think there's any charter schools in Hope County. I think the closest one, K through 12, will be the Alpha Academy out there on Racebrook Road. But, I agree with you on the governor comments, as far as it pertains to education. But we've got the lottery now. But, all the money doesn't go to education because they spend so much on advertising and other things and prize money. But it was an interesting case, and I think right now who's going to appeal it? Now, the NC, I would have loved some locally somebody from the state NAACP because they were heavily involved back in the 90s when this case was originated.
Yeah, is
it true?
Go ahead.
Go on.
Go ahead.
No, is it true? The legislature, we can't even approve a budget. We can't figure out what we're going to pay teachers. The students, to me, the whole thing is it sort of becomes a joke because nothing's getting done. So it's easy. I totally agree with you that the Democrats had a perfect opportunity to fix this, but now, 30-some years later, where are we, and how is this going to be fixed?
Well, I can tell you this, Jay, before we pass it over to Troy. Right now, if your child's in a low-performing school, there are voucher options, and I know a lot of folks don't agree with that because it still brings up the transportation issue. Well, government can't solve it all for you. If they're willing to say, hey, you're right, your child is getting inadequate education, we'll let you go somewhere else. You know, you got to do what's important to you in life. You know, that's easy for me to say, but they're not going to solve all problems because in choice schools, I know in Cumberland County, if it's a choice school, you don't get transportation to that school unless your child is if that school is in your child's busing district, then you can get bused to that classical school or that choice school. So there are options. There's a lot more options in 90. I can say this to parents. There's a lot more options. If you stay in Hope County and work in Cumberland County and you want your child to go to Alpha Academy, that can be done too. Or if you work in Cumberland County as a teacher, now I know in Cumberland County, if you stay in the Pine Forest district, but you work at Jack Brick School, your kid can follow you to that district. I don't think that can happen out of county. If you work in Hope and 10 Cumberland, I don't think it works that way. I mean, you know.
Interesting. Thank you.
Sure. You know, I looked quickly. I just did a cursory research deal. It appears that there may be a charter school in Rayford, and might be more than one. So, you know, but I agree with you. But the thing is that, look, I mean, the whole schools thing, man, look, I hear you loud and clear, Jay, about the money. But this is not, and I know you have an educator and a daughter that's an educator. But when I'm told by people and what I hear is that it's not about the money. It's about these students. I mean, you know, students attacking teachers, and they don't feel safe in the classroom. Because more recently, a student attacked a teacher within the last couple of weeks. I mean, and the teacher was injured. We have, I leave names out of it because I don't want to disclose how I got the information, but we have a principal here in Cumberland County now that he's on a cane because he's walking around because he tried to break up a fight and got really hurt with some students in a high school. I mean, money is the issue, but look, it's almost like they need to suit up like they're coming from Fort Bragg, and we give them hazardous duty pay the way some of these students are acting now, man. I mean, they are out of control.
Yeah, terrible. No, I totally agree.
And I don't know how we're going to fix that, you know what I mean? Because I believe that the whole thing, it has to be what's going on at home with these parents. And, you know, I mean, how do you fix that? I mean, I don't know how you fix that. I mean, how do you mandate that these parents do what they're supposed to do, you know? And some of the parents are getting upset. I'm trying to think, where is this at? Where is that the youngsters were, I don't think it was in North Carolina, but it was this week, where the youngsters are just all wilding out in this town, and the law enforcement people and the people that want structure are going after the parents, and the parents are complaining, well, you know, if we can't hold parents responsible for the actions of their children, what do we do?
It's a good point. There was the case where they did hold a parent responsible. If you remember the Michigan shooting, where the kid killed some students.
Right.
The parents, you know, and so this was one of the first times in history where the parents were actually held accountable in the case because of the kids. And we do need to hold parents more accountable. You know, that's an extreme case, but parents need to be held accountable too.
Right, because, you know, it's not, you know, and I'm sure that any of you all listening to this or watching this broadcast, you probably seen some of the same things that I've seen. I've seen in grocery stores, sometimes in restaurants. I mean, little kids, they're just like little monsters, man. I mean, they come out and they just do whatever they want to do, you know. They be throwing food, they pick stuff up, you know, all kinds of things. I'm like, man, wait. I mean, I'm thinking, and the parent is standing right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
And so
right. I've seen it.
I was pulling out of a driveway, in this neighborhood, and the kids were in front of the driveway, little kids. And so I just said something to him because I was backing out, and I didn't want to hit one of them. And the parent was across the street, a female. She was doing some gardening, and she's looking at me hard. I'm like, look, I'm talking to your child because I'm backing out, and I don't want to hit one of them. And you would think you would say something, but she didn't say not one word. She just gave me an evil look. You know what I mean? And all I said was, okay, kids, you watch out. I'm getting ready to back up. I mean, really?
It's like she's copping an attitude.
Right.
Yeah, ridiculous.
You hit one of them, and then, they're coming after you, And I'm saying, like, really?
Then it's a different story. That's right.
I'm just saying, man, it is something else out there now with these youngsters. So, but anyway, we got about another minute before we go to a break. So anything else on this education thing before we go to the break?
No, I think we've covered a lot of it. We got a lot more to cover, but Leandro case, it's finally come to an end, and I guess there'll be something new next week.
Yes, sir. Anyway, go to a break inside of the morning show with Troy, J, and DL. Not necessarily in that order, but anyway, we'll be back. Our host, producer this morning is the most fabulous Tammy Quick. She's the one. She got it going on, fellas. Now, I'm telling you, she looks better and probably does a better job than the guys, okay? So, we'll be back following this message.
Carolina Complete Health. From neighborhoods in Charlotte to families in Greensboro, Raleigh, and Durham, all the way to Asheville and Wilmington, and everything in between. We are here for communities across North Carolina, connecting you to the care and support you need. We are here to make healthcare easier to access and understand. We are here to bridge the gap, because your health matters. Your community matters. You matter. We are here for your health. Visit hereforyourhealth.com.
The North Carolina Supreme Court threw out the multi-billion-dollar plan to improve North Carolina's public schools in the long-running lawsuit known as Leandro. Wednesday night, President Trump delivered a primetime address in which he touted the U.S. progress in the Iran war, and there are different responses coming from Iran. Artemis II is officially on its way to the moon this morning. A new poll from Elon University is showing how North Carolina voters view the state's U.S. Senate race and its candidates. The town of Plymouth is mourning the loss of one of its popular council members. Councilman Danny Wobbleton passed away on April 1st. March jobs report is due out this morning. Law enforcement agencies across North Carolina have increased patrols and set up checkpoints this week as part of Speed a Little, Lose a Lot campaign. Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
We're tracking our next cold front that moves by on Sunday. Ahead of it tomorrow and today, we'll have highs in the 80s. Cooler weather returns on Monday. So we have some clouds out there this morning. It's partly cloudy this afternoon with a 20% chance for a shower. Upper 70s to low 80s for the highs. Mostly clear tonight with the low in the low 60s. Breezy and warm for your Saturday. It's partly cloudy with highs again in the lower to mid 80s. Rain is likely on Sunday and perhaps a few storms. I'm meteorologist Mike Mays in the NCN Weather Center.
I'm Jamie Monticelli, WIDU Radio News. Fayetteville police say, Fayetteville, if your family has been affected by gun violence, your voice matters. Join Greater Life of Fayetteville and community partners for a chance to share your story, connect with others, and help address the effects of gun violence in the community and schools. They invite you to the 3-part crime prevention dining and workshop series. The first session, I Have a Chance, Dining in for Stability Effects of Gun Violence, is set for Saturday, April 18th, 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. at Country Club Drive, Church of Christ. The Cumberland County Sheriff's Office has been made aware of a scam involving those receiving calls from a 1-800 number claiming to represent the Sheriff's Office. The caller says the citizen has been chosen to receive a free gun permit. That is not legitimate. The Cumberland County Sheriff's Office no longer issues pistol purchase permits. They will never contact you by phone to offer a free permit or request personal information related to one. From WIDU Radio, I'm Jamie Monticelli.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon, you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
New Bluebell Brookie a la mode ice cream brings brownies and cookies together like never before. Big chunks of brownies, soft chocolate chip cookie pieces blended into a rich, creamy brown sugar ice cream. It's not too good to be true. It's just that good.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at your local grocer and pick up your favorite flavor today.
Hello, everybody. My name is Elder Betty Anthony. I attend Kingdom Impact Global Ministries, where our apostle is William T. Ford. I am here to introduce our powerful Easter production called The Crucifixion of Jesus Christ. Come and witness the story that changed everything. The date is April 5th, 2026. Our doors will open at 6 o'clock, and the program will start at 7. Here, we have Pontius Pilate, played by Pastor Travis Stroud.
Hello, everyone. A man was brought before me, in whom I found no fault. But pressure was on me from the Jewish leader, and I washed my hands from the blood of this innocent man. You all come out and see the rest of the show.
Again, come out on April the 5th. Doors open at 6 and the production start at 7 o'clock. Come and witness the story that changed everything. You don't want to miss it.
As the health director in Haywood County and a nurse here in North Carolina, I can tell you that the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline saves lives.
No matter your struggle, you are not alone. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is free, private, and always available.
988 Lifeline counselors are ready 24/7 to speak with you, help you cope, and get you connected to the support that is right for you.
988, the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline.
Call, text, or chat 988 24/7. Brought to you by the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services.
Our ridge of high pressure is still upon us today and tomorrow. That means we're going to keep the heat going, but there's a cold front on Sunday that brings us back to cooler weather starting on Monday. Some morning cloud cover, then partly cloudy this afternoon, a 20% chance for a shower, breezy and warm with upper 70s to low 80s. Mostly clear tonight with lows in the low 60s. It's partly cloudy, breezy and warm for your Saturday. The highs in the low to mid 80s. Rain is likely on Sunday and maybe a storm. I'm Mike Mays in the NCN Weather Center.
22 minutes for the top of the hour here. Back to Jay and DL. And so I begin with you, DL. Some other things we want to talk about during this hour. And so I pass the ball to you, sir.
In Raleigh, I think me and you did talk about Phil Berger and family just doing the white flag, and he's going to move along, and just going to be interested to see how that wraps up the change of power in Raleigh and how it's going to affect the rest of us. And another thing that's come out of Raleigh right now, part of me agrees with and part of me does not agree with it, is the state wants to mandate property tax local. I don't know. If they would tell me what do they think is getting out of control at the local level, then maybe I'd go for it. But I can tell you, I know where the problem's going to lie. It's in these big counties. It's like Charlotte, Mecklenburg. The state is looking at, this is what y'all spending money on. I have no problem with bringing in what we want to say, aquatic centers, history centers, but folks at the local level, especially our commissioners in the city council, not just talking about Fayetteville, I'm talking about Charlotte, Greensboro, Forsyth County, Winston-Salem. Some of your counties don't realize you're not Wake County where you get all these jobs and these high-paying jobs, and you have to be good stewards of the citizens' money. And I think sometimes folks at the county and city level, they say, well, technically this ain't my money. Let's just go on a spending spurt. And then generations behind us are going to pay for it, Troy and Jay.
Yeah. It's a good point. Very good point. I'd like to talk about college basketball, if I could, for a minute. Is that possible?
Hey, man, look, I love to talk about that. If you're going to talk about Sunday's game.
Yeah, I mean, I just a couple things I wanted to bring up. First of all, NC State has a new basketball coach, Justin Gainey.
They do?
Former player, and I was very excited. First of all, the way Will Wade left that school, he should be ashamed of himself. That was just pathetic. 2 weeks before he left as coach, he said, things were good. He was excited about the program, and then all of a sudden he leaves. I think that was just pathetic, but I'm very happy for Justin Gainey. There seemed to be a lot of fanfare behind the announcement, so that was great news. Also wanted to hit the amazing collapse of Duke basketball. And listen, I was rooting for Duke. As a Carolina fan, I still wanted Duke to win because I think it's good for North Carolina. As you guys that was a major collapse this season in the Elite Eight. Last season, they had to collapse 12 points in the last 8 minutes to Houston. The question is this players more? Is this coaching? Does Shire need to, do we need to put a little bit more spotlight on Shire? That was one thought. And then the final thought I had about basketball is, what is Carolina going to do about a coach? And I know, DL, you probably thought about it. Who do they need to start considering? So I'll leave those thoughts to you guys.
Okay, well, look, first of all, I'm going to come back to you talking about the coach at NC State. Okay, here's the scenario, Jay.
Yeah.
So let's say Jay is the coach of NC State.
Yeah.
And someone offers Jay $40 million to go play somewhere else. And you're like, no, I'm not doing this. And Jay's wife knows about this too. So how's that going to work, Jay?
Well, I mean, here, listen. To me, I get the money. I get the money piece, but there's also something. You make a commitment to go to a school. You've been there one season, and all of a sudden you're bailing to go back to LSU. And as I remember, I think there was a controversy with him anyway. Some trouble he got into. The bottom line is, I think he did the school wrong. You can say what you want. If it was all about the money, then go for it. But didn't like the way he handled it. And I am curious about the John Shire situation. I had a lunch with a good friend of mine who's a Dookie, who went to Duke, thinks John Shire's still a great coach. Job should be safe, but that's a couple of collapses. And I'm just wondering, is coaching a big part of that?
Right.
So Jay, here's Will Wade's salary. At State, it would have been 2.5, and then it was 2.875 annually, and then 17.25 for 6-year deal. At LSU, he got $4 million annually, increasing up to $4.5 million in the later years, $30+ million for a 7-year deal. Here's the deal. Will Wade got caught on the FBI wiretap at LSU previously trying to buy a kid, and they made him resign. There was a number of coaches got caught that year on wiretap.
Exactly.
So the governor got involved. It's always been he's always wanted to go back to LSU, and then that's what he did. I'm not a fan of him because he is the anonymous coach that told a beat writer that they wanted Hubert Davis to stay because it was easy to beat him, but he didn't put his name on it. So LSU, you get what you want. Let's see if he's cleaned up his act. So we'll see.
Yeah, well,
What about Shire and Duke?
Okay, but I'm coming.
Shire's going to be all right. Listen, one thing you can't do with these young, this is Caden Boozer. He's probably played on the best teams his whole life. Of his brother's the number one pick. I mean, he might be the number one pick, but he's unanimous ACC and College Player of the Year. So you got to realize them bougie kids probably ain't been in too many pressure situations. Coaches in practice have to create scenarios, and it was just a bad spot that the young man was in. But if he'd had on the ball, I Googled it, LSU, UConn had the possession error. But if UConn gets the possession area and gets the ball back and they defend the three, a two-pointer will tie them up. It should have went for the foul, but it's a lot going through those kids' minds in those last 10 seconds. And, Shao just got to make better coaching decisions. But his job, and anybody that think his job is on the line is crazy talk, because he's won multiple ACC titles. He's Coach K last, 7 years? He had McDonald's All-Americans too, and he didn't win. So you didn't fire him, but Shao's going to be all right. You just know he's got to make sure that he puts his kids in pressure scenarios with the game on the line, and practice has to be intense, because Dan Hurley, I don't know if I shared it with you, Jay, but Dan Hurley practices. Dan, he chooses out the assistant coaches. Now, he said himself he's a I can't say it over there. He said he's just not a nice guy, but he believes in winning.
He's a jerk, but he's a winner. He's arrogant. He's arrogant, but he's a winner.
Okay. Here's my thing, though, Jack. Here's my thing, Jay, with college kids. Regardless if they're paid or not, when you choose, nobody's making you go to UConn to take that hard coaching. I like him. All of his coaching styles I agree with, but to me, I don't. As long as he's not putting his hands on folks, because he makes his practice intense, and when you make that practice intense, there's a correlation that goes on to the court, and that's why he's been successful at UConn.
He's no Bobby Knight abusing the players.
Okay, yeah, but he's got a sarcastic tone. He's condescending to his players, and it's okay.
I just don't like him. I don't like him.
Okay, hold up. Before I swing it to Jay, for Troy, I'll tell you this, Jay. I wouldn't have a problem with him coaching my child or grandson. I'm just sorry, because I like coaches. Coaches are supposed to be tough. When you don't have tough coaches, these kids go out here and they play a certain way, and they're not disciplined. And those guys can keep their heads down, and they pushed it back. And the better coach was on the UConn sideline.
J and DL.
He's a winner, that's for sure.
J and DL. Now look, let's break this thing down, and I'm giving you facts. I'm not as optimistic about John Shire as DL is, because now mind you, this is the worst collapse in NCAA tournament history, because 134 teams that were number one seeds, if they were leading by 15 points or more at the halftime, have never lost. And
that's correct.
So here it is, this guy, but at one point they were up 19 points. So I'm not going to put it on the bougie kids at the end, because they had to get down to that situation. They lost a 19-point lead. So that is about coaching. Something is wrong here when you allow them to get back in the game like that. So,
I agree.
I'm not the genius here, so I don't know what he should have been doing, but he should have been doing something, and not let that game get down to single digit. Because I was watching the game. I remember when he got down to 9, and then, they were just making better plays. So, no, there's something wrong here. Now, mind you, you can say, well, what people have. And because this was said earlier to me, well, what about this person, that person? If you have the best players in the country every year, you are supposed to win. It's not a thing of you coming home without a ring when you have the best players in the country. You're talking about the number one seed that's going to the NBA. Come on, man. Something's wrong with that pitcher. How can you not say something's wrong with that pitcher? Now, I'm not saying that he should be fired immediately, but I got a question mark over his head when it comes to that stuff, because now we need an athletic Heimlich. You know what I mean? Isn't that what they call it when people choke?
Yes, yes.
I mean, something's wrong with that picture, guys. Come on. How can you not say something's wrong with that picture? Really?
I totally agree with you. He gets the best, one of the top recruiting classes every year, and you're expected to win. Listen, I think he's a good coach. What is on your Monday morning sports show? What does Coach say?
Coach was sick on Monday, so he didn't show up. And I'm not going to say that, he wasn't really sick, but I'm sure he was sick from watching that game, too. So,
I bet. I'd like to get his thoughts.
Yeah, me, I would, too. I mean, because at the end of the day, man, come on, something's wrong with that picture, I mean, it just, no. I watched that game. I happened to be in the room with 3 Duke fans, and they were letting me have it, man. So when Duke was up by 19, they were talking trash to me. But, boy, did the tide change. And I had some fun. With them. I mean, it was quite interesting.
It was tough to watch.
Yeah, I was saying, but look, I probably seen that on social media. I probably watched it 30 times because they just keep playing it over and over again.
I did too.
I mean,
I did too, and they showed They showed the angle with Shire's reaction,
exactly,
and with Hurley's reaction.
Yep, exactly.
And I watched it 30 times too. I kept watching it because that shot was amazing, and just how the game ended. You're thinking Duke's got it. They throw the ball away, and with a 1/10 of a second left, this kid hits it. It'll go down as one of the great endings if you're a UConn fan in history.
And
no question.
But did you see this? The referee now still they're trying to help Duke out. Deal, I don't know whether you saw this or not. When Duke gets the ball back with 0.3 seconds on the clock, right? Or 4, whatever it was. The rep is actually telling the UConn player that he can't play defense. He's telling him to get back to allow the Duke player to throw the ball. I mean, really, man, when did that happen? I mean,
I didn't see that.
I'm going to look it up. I'm telling you because it's out there, and it's not AI. This really happened. I mean, and then the poor Duke announcers, because for about a half of a second, the players ran out on the court, but they only went out about a foot or two, okay? And they ran right back. Oh, no, it needs to be a tech call. It needs to be a tech call. They thought the game was over.
I heard that.
They thought the game was over. So they were looking for every rabbit that they could pull out.
I know, they were. That's true.
They not a rabbit foot. They wanted a kangaroo foot. I'm telling you, man, it was. Now, if you're going to say that Troy wasn't happy, Troy was happy. You see what I'm saying? So I don't care what happened with Carolina. See, I'm one of these players right here. I don't care about, because I don't even view Duke as coming from North Carolina. As far as I'm concerned, they're an Ivy League team that just happened to be in Durham. You see what I'm saying? I don't even view Duke.
That's true. Very true.
I mean, that's how I see it. So,
What about for Carolina? Who could be the coach?
They're going to be okay.
I haven't heard anything going on yet about that the coaching vacancy.
I think there may be some issues, DL, maybe you've heard it. There may be some issues between the athletic director and the Arizona coach. And I think that he is on their radar to bring him here.
Okay.
But, look, it's a marquee school. When you go to these marquee schools, the blue blood schools, you are expected to win. And as much as I like Coach Davis, I think he's a nice, Christian, good-hearted guy, but he overachieves and underachieves at the same time. I mean, it just,
Yeah.
And, if you're going to have a coach, it has to be about winning, guys.
Oh, absolutely. What do you think, DL?
Well, as far as the UNC job goes, I'll just regurgitate some of the things I said last week. I've never seen these off-the-court injuries that could have been prevented. I mean, Yeah, the off-the-court injuries, because the in-game, the Caleb Wilson, it happens. But the weight, the lat machine.
Oh yeah. Right.
I just think it's a lack of control. When they come to practice, film session on the court or in that weight room, there need to be coaches around. We in the military, we call it preventable accident. How does your teammates have to lift a machine off their hand? What we do is watch them to unsafe act. And I'm going to put that on the coaching staff, not just you, because Houston has a lot of coaches on the bench, strength and conditioning.
Right.
That's a preventable action, because if it wasn't preventable, we'd see it a lot. Players getting injured in the weight room, basketball players anyway. And then the Caleb Wilson injury.
Dunking
in practice. And then when you put number 44, Bagovic Luka, he can't make his own shot. Too many times where I see him and Visser, two guys that can't make their own shot without help at the top of the key in no man's land. When 44 gets the ball, he's at the perimeter, and the guy's in space because he can't make his own shot. The plays they were running were terrible. It was controlled chaos. They had bad spacing. In basketball on offense, you have to have spacing, meaning that you can't have two guys bunched up. You have to run plays, and they just look lackadaisical at times. And then on the flip side, you down at home against Duke and come back and beat them. So they were inconsistent under Hubert Davis. So they had to make the move. And I like Hubert, but you can't get rid of players. You get rid of coaches, and that's on the college and pro level.
Yeah, I agree. I know we don't have much time, but I wanted to just throw it out there because I saw it in the paper a couple days ago. The Civil War Reconstruction Museum, I can't remember the entire name, but they signed the final beam, which means, construction is, they're really moving forward on the construction. The question is, I haven't heard anything about that in the community. I haven't seen much written about it. I know it was an $85 million state investment, and including $7.5 million from the city, $7.5 million from the county. But is there a lot of energy behind, a lot of enthusiasm? What are you hearing?
I think there was at one time. At one time there was a lot of pushback concerning it. However, but it's just, this is what people need to realize. It's a state project. So when I'm going down Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, I can see the beams, the steel beams have been up for quite some time. So I've looked over there and I've seen that. But, look, I don't understand, what the people's problem is. This whole notion that it was some type of salute to the Confederacy and all of that was not true. And there were people that were saying that. And people intentionally called it the Confederate History Center and things like that, just to use race to get people all worked up. And, I just don't understand why people want to be like that. I mean, it's just like, we have a way around Fayetteville and Cumberland County of just messing up opportunities. And, we just, I don't want this because of this, and I don't want this because of that. And they say things that are not even true about something. And I don't know. I was there when they broke ground for it a couple of years ago. I guess it was about 3 years ago now. So I think this is a great opportunity, like Fort Fisher, like the aquarium, like the zoo. They expect people to come here. They expect this to be a destination where people can come here and they can see that. And I think they have easy access to it now with 95 and connecting with MLK. I think it's a good deal.
Well, I'll say this, Jay. If Cumberland County and the city didn't want it, their respective bodies could have said, no, state, we're not going to support it. Don't know if the state would have pulled out, but they didn't have to agree with it. I don't think correct me if I'm wrong. If the city and county said, no, we don't want this, there would have been no hard feelings from the state. But once you committed to it and then tried to pull out, there would have been hard feelings. So for what I just said, Troy, correct me what I may have said wrong about how Cumberland County and the city got involved.
Well, I think you're correct with that. You know, John Zucker, when he was with the NC House, played a big part into making that come here. And this is the incredible part. Some of the people that were causing all of the ruckus were actually on an advisory board for it, promoting it. And then they stir up this racial stuff. And I believe this because this is what some of the people told me directly to my ears. It said, and then they come, guys, to them and say, hey, look, you know, I know you got a race problem in the African Americans. Pay us $80,000 and we'll fix your problem. And they were creating the problem. I'm telling you what I know. You know, I mean, it just...
Okay, but Troy, hold on a second. So here's my... I want to clear this up. When they were approached, they could have said no. That's my question. The county and the city could have said no. It would have been no hard feelings, right?
I guess.
I don't know about that. Well, I'm not going to...
I don't know about that either.
At the time. Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, I think there was a lot of pressure for the contributions of the $7.5 million from each, from city and county. And I know there was a lot of conversation for quite a while about the contribution. I think the city moved forward first, and then the county did. But it was a lot of back and forth with it, but they finally, agreed to do it. So I think that would have, my understanding was that was critical for them to get that, the yeses from both city and county for it to move forward, because that was $15 million. I know they depended on a lot of private donations and some from the state, but
30 seconds.
The $15 million was really critical.
Right.
But I'll leave that alone.
Sure. But look, we can talk about that some more because it's still going to be here for a while. But anyway, appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. For those of y'all that celebrate Resurrection Sunday,
Happy
same to you.
Easter.
Have an awesome weekend. Talk to you later.